Welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title, we are reviewing the full MAC Cosmetics brand. I am reviewing and giving you my opinion about everything I have from MAC Cosmetics. I think everyone knows MAC Cosmetics. They have beautiful makeup and they have professional grade makeup. I almost love everything from MAC Cosmetics. Some of them are all-time favorites for me. Some of them I'm like, I could do if this was a little bit of a better quality. But MAC Cosmetics is a brand that never disappoints me. One thing that I haven't used a lot from the brand is their Hyper Real skincare line. I have tried some samples. I have had like small travel size samples. I have had these samples and I think I like the Serumizer serum a lot under my makeup. They also have the eye version. I'm gonna use this as my base today. This is the MAC Cosmetics Hyper Real Serumizer Eye. And it is a serum texture, a hybrid between a serum and a cream. It has a very serumy feel on the skin. It is fairly expensive for the brand, but I believe it is worth it if you can find it on sale. I really like this serum. It has a silicone feel to it, but it is hydrating at the same time. It gives me the feeling of the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched moisturizer that everyone is obsessed with, but this doesn't have any specific smell to it. The smell is more like skincare-y. It might bother some people, but it is not bothersome to me. I like it and I like the texture on my face. I have noticed whenever I use this one, my dry patches don't show up as much. I am not a huge fan of the balm under my makeup, but this is a good one as a moisturizer in general, but I don't know if I would pay this amount of money for something that I can get from other brands with a better price. But the Serumizer, I love that one. This doesn't give me that much peeling. I'm comfortable wearing it under my makeup, but you have to be careful not to use too much. Even the amount I used today might be too much for this serum, but since I opened it up, I didn't want to waste it, so I used it. And then we have the famous strobe cream. This one has a lot of colors. I have used the pink one and the gold one before, but this time I tried to pick up the peach light. I think they have changed the packaging. It doesn't look like this anymore. This is a good illuminating base, but I have to say the first time I used this, I thought it is gonna be something like a moisturizer for me, but for my dry skin this is never enough, so I have to use this under my foundation for a more glowier base, or I can mix it with my foundation if I want to make my foundation more glowy. I'm gonna use a little bit on the high points of my face. I do like this as a primer. You can see I applied it here. The colors aren't that different. All of them are in a white base, but they have a slight shift to them. This one has more of an orangey peachy shift to it, but you don't see it that much, so don't worry about it. Pick up whichever that is a better price for you. Sometimes some of the colors are on sale, some of the colors aren't. Sometimes I use it under my eyes too, because the light reflection from this cream reflects the light from my dark circles. You can see it doesn't have that much of a color in the reflection, so most of the colors might work for you. You can also mix this with your foundation, as I said, or with your moisturizer, or you can also use this as your highlighter if you are a fan of more of a subtle highlight. In general, I really like this cream. For the days that my skin is doing good, this might be actually enough, but for the days that I have a lot of dryness, I have to mix it with moisturizer or apply moisturizer underneath. Does it make that much of a change for you to pay for this and have it in your collection? For me it does, because I can use it in different ways, but for a while I wouldn't even pick it up, or I wouldn't even pick up a full size because I was sure that I cannot finish it up before it goes bad. Surprisingly, one thing that is not my most favorite product from MAC Cosmetics is actually their foundations. The only one that I can use on my skin is the MAC Studio Radiance foundation. This used to be called Face and Body. This is a radiant finish and this is a very light coverage foundation. Usually they apply it with their hands, but they apply it in multiple layers. So the more you apply, the more you can build up. And that is the magic about this foundation. Every other foundation from the brand is a little bit too thick for me. I have even tried their new serum foundation and I wasn't a fan of that one either. I haven't tried it for multiple applications, but the one time that I tried it, I wasn't impressed. I like this one more. I used to have shade C1, but that one was a little bit too light, so I picked up shade C2. I can also wear shade 3 in summer, but shade C2 is the best match for me. And C means cool. They have N, which means neutral, but don't be mistaken, MAC Cosmetics is different than every other brand. Most of other brands, C is cool, but it means warm in every other brand. That's why I picked up C2. This is a very runny texture. You can see it is already running down. It blends out super fast and it stays put. This is the difference on my hands. You can see got rid of some of the discoloration on this. Compared to this one, it gave me some color, but it is not so full coverage that you cannot see my skin underneath. This is a very buildable foundation. You can apply it in multiple layers and it will give you more and more coverage. I have seen people use this with a brush, with a sponge. Makeup artists use this with their fingers. This foundation never looks cakey. Sometimes though, if I have a lot of dry patches, it can stick to my dry patches. So if you have a lot of dry patches all the time, maybe this is not the foundation for you. This is one layer on the side of my face with brush. I'm gonna blend this side with my finger. And you can see at first it looks very streaky, but after you blend it out completely, it looks super flawless. And you can see there is no peeling happening from the serumizer and the strobe cream. These products work really well together. This is my skin after one application of the foundation, which is the MAC Studio Radiance foundation, aka Face and Body. I wouldn't do a second layer because I'm not a fan of a lot of coverage, but I want to show you guys how buildable this foundation is. And I think this is why a lot of makeup artists love this foundation. And you can see I'm applying a lot. People used to be obsessed with this foundation. I don't know what happened that everyone forgot about it. My skin gets a lot of freckles and hyperpigmentation during the summer, even though I'm wearing sunscreen. But this foundation got rid of those hyperpigmentations. I obviously have some spots, but I can cover those with a concealer. The skin looks glowy, but not too glowy, and it looks healthy. It's like I applied some moisturizer and that is all I did. I would even feel comfortable getting out of the house with only this foundation on. If you want more coverage, I would suggest letting this set for a little bit after you apply the first layer and then apply the second layer or third layer. That way it gives you a lot more coverage. Usually foundations for me after a couple of hours, they show up my dry patches. It's like they soak up all the moisture from my skin. But with this one, that doesn't happen, or it happens, but it is not as serious. The concealer that I love from the brand is the Prep and Prime. You have seen me use these before, especially the color Light Boost. Bright Forecast is a little bit more pinky peach, a bit more like a color corrector for me. Light Boost is more like a concealer for me. It has more of a yellow undertone. I'll show it to you in a minute. I love this concealer. It sets really well. Sometimes it sets super fast, so you have to apply it to one eye and blend it out. And I always do too much twisting and a lot of it comes out. This is Bright Forecast and this one is Light Boost. You can see the colors and I have them here. Light Boost and Bright Forecast. As you can see, Bright Forecast is more like a peachy pink undertone. These oxidize a little bit and get darker. And as I said, you have to be pretty quick with these when you are applying them. So if you apply them, make sure you are applying one eye at a time, or at least that is my experience with my dry skin. I'm gonna use Bright Forecast as my color corrector today. This side that I just blended it out is a lot lighter than this side, or you can see it here as well. It is super lightweight and it gives me a lot of coverage or brightness under my eyes. I like them as concealers because I don't like too much coverage. This concealer works really well with other foundations from other brands, and because it is very lightweight, it doesn't crease up that much under my eyes. This is Bright Forecast as a color corrector. I'm gonna apply it to the other eye. I forgot to mention this. I also love using this as an eye primer for my eyeshadows. After it sets, it is set, it doesn't move, it looks gorgeous. Usually concealers work well for me when I apply them to the back of my hand and then apply them to my face, but with this concealer I like to apply them straight to my face. That looks more natural for me. By the way, I have been using MAC Cosmetics brushes. This is the MAC Cosmetics 170S and this is 270S. These are synthetic brushes, foundation brush and concealer brush. They are good brushes, very dense. Especially this one is great for concealer. They are very soft, but are they better than BK Beauty? No. If BK Beauty is 10, these are 9, in my opinion. I usually don't do this a lot, but since I want to show you the next product, I'm gonna do it. This is the MAC Cosmetics Studio Fix Conceal and Correct palette. I have the shade Light. This is the color story of the palette. They have a pink one, yellow, they have more skin tone colors right here. These two, I believe they are like color correctors, and these 4 are more skin tone colors. This is a very thick palette and it is for color correction, so it is for application all over the face, in my opinion. Wherever you have blemishes or something to cover up, I don't like this one under my eyes at all. It looks super cakey. I only like this one as a color correcting for my blemishes and things like that, so spot correction. I do not like to use this one on a bigger area on my face because it looks super full coverage and super cakey. But on days that I feel like I want to hide some of my imperfections but I don't want to apply more foundation, I can use this. And for this one, I always use a very tiny brush. This is Refer 23. I would use a synthetic brush if you have it. I couldn't find my synthetic one that is like this. And what I do is I pick up one of the colors that is closest to my skin. Right now, these 2 colors are closest. To get better coverage, you can let it sit for a little bit and then blend it out, but I like to blend it out as soon as I put it on because I don't want too much coverage. And as I showed you, you have different tones in this one. So for example, if this color isn't working for you, you can add some of the yellow, you can add some of the pink, so you can mix and match and get your perfect shade. In general, I really like this one. If you are very big on spot concealing, I would pick this one up. But other than that, I don't think this is suitable for everyday use. Next product I'm gonna use is this Pro Face palette. It says Contour. It is the same size as the concealer palette. As you can see, these are their Pro palettes, so they are refillable. It has 4 colors in it. Again, great for a makeup artist. My only issue with this palette, it is a little bit too warm for my skin tone, so I cannot use it all the time. And I have to be very careful using this. But I have to mention, you can mix these 2 together to get a perfect shade of contour for yourself. But for me, I wouldn't do that because this is thick enough, and when I apply something so thick on my face, it doesn't look natural. For this, I'm gonna use my concealer brush and I'm gonna use the lightest color, which is this one. It does say a contour palette, but you can see this is borderline a bronzer for me. It is not cool enough for me to be a contour shade, or neutral enough basically. When a contour shade is too cool tone, they don't look natural on me. The reason I'm using a smaller brush is that I want to have more control with this palette. In my experience, MAC palettes are very saturated in color, so I don't want to get a lot of color at once. For my forehead, I'm gonna use my foundation brush and pick up a very tiny amount. The good thing about these palettes is that because they are very thick and creamy, they stay put on your face whole day, and that is because this is a professional makeup brand. This gives me a very subtle warmth, but it also gives me a little bit of contour. This side of my face has the bronzer slash contour, this side doesn't. I could apply more, but I'm comfortable with the amount I have right now. I'm gonna apply a little bit to my jawline. I could even apply the darker shades on my skin, but I don't like the undertone of those. What I actually don't have from the brand anymore is their paint pots. Those were too thick for me, but I've seen people use the darker colors as one and done eyeshadow. I want to try that at some point. I don't have them right now. Maybe on next sale I will pick up some of those colors. The colors are not interesting to me though. And one other thing that you know I love from the brand, because I have made other videos about this, is their Glow Play cushiony blushes. I have a lot of colors. I have Blush Please, True Harmony, Ginger Lock. I also picked up a brighter shade recently to compare with the Rare Beauty ones. I have a lot of colors from them and I have swatched them before, so you can go watch those short videos, and I also have a long video that I do arm swatches. For today, I'm gonna use True Harmony. These blushes are everything. If you haven't used them, which I'm surprised, because if you are a makeup lover, at some point you have been forced to buy this. This is one of their newer colors. Before this, I really liked So Natural and Blush Please. So Natural was a little bit too light for my skin, but I could use it, and Blush Please is a beautiful color. I feel like they changed the consistency a little bit and made it a little bit better, because I feel like they blend and they apply a lot better, and you can see this has a very cushiony feel to it. And look at this color. If this is not the perfect color, what is? I can actually apply these easily with my fingers or with a brush, and you can also apply this on top of powdered face without any trouble. Somehow these work really well with powders as well. They also have a little bit of subtle glow to them. I think So Natural between all of these shades has the most glow. That one has like actual shimmer in it. It also looks really good as an all over bronzer for my skin tone. It looks very natural. It gives me back some color. This is where we get into the realm of more beginner friendly, more everyday friendly makeup. Before this, we were in the realm of more professional makeup. This is the bronzer slash contour, and this is True Harmony from the Glow Play. You can see these match really well. They work very well with each other, and the quality of both of these is top notch. These are the other colors. This is the one that I use. These two are too warm for me, and this is too dark. If you want to see the swatches of all of these colors that I have, you can go watch those videos. I think we are done with all cream products. Their powder products are as good as their cream products, if not better. For example, their Mineralize Skin Finish powders. These are the best powders you can find in the market, and this is what I was talking about. Doesn't this look so much like the Say powder that they just launched? By the way, I told one of you guys in the comment section I returned that Say powder. I might pick up a darker one, I might not. My problem with it was that it was a little bit too glowy for me. But this one, I have shade medium dark. This is a little bit dark for me. I think shade light plus is the best color for me, but I can use this one as well because these are very, very subtle powders. This is the one that I have right now. I picked this one up as a bronzer actually. It seems like this wasn't a good idea. It looks more like an actual powder for me than a bronzer. I usually apply this with a big fluffy brush. These powders look very natural and they have different colors. So if you are a fan of more like a warmer bronzer color, you can pick up some of their darker colors. For me, they are a little bit too orangey, too warm toned. Like the color Give Me Sun was a famous bronzer for a while. I'm just hoping they would come out with more shades of these because these would be perfect as a bronzer if there was a shade that would work for me. Do you see how beautiful this powder is? It set my makeup, but it doesn't look like I'm wearing any powder. and my face does feel set. It is not like the Say powder that I didn't feel like my face was set no matter how much I was applying the powder. I obviously have only kept the products that I have liked throughout the years, like the MAC Give Me Sun, which is from the same line. I never kept that one, but that was only because the color wouldn't suit me, not because the quality was bad. Other than their concealers and their foundations, which I talked about, except for these two that I used, everything else I really like from the brand. If they aren't in my makeup collection, I'm gonna miss them. This is the MAC Plumping Lip Gloss. I'm not gonna say the full name because I hate the full name. I have color simulation. I'm gonna apply this as my lip balm. This is a plumping lip balm, but it doesn't have too much spiciness. If you have watched my other videos, you know that I don't like plumping lip balms. But this one, something about this lip balm, look how juicy this looks. It makes your lips so juicy and so beautiful. The colors aren't that different. As you can see, this is a very dark color here, but it doesn't show up that much on my lips. Super comfortable, super beautiful. I don't know if they are supposed to be like a lip balm treatment, but I don't feel uncomfortable wearing them during the day. They have some spiciness to them, but the spiciness is more like minty spiciness, not cayenne pepper spiciness. For my bronzer on the powder side, I have a few different options for you. This one is a new Air Launch in a sense that it is newer than these. These have been in their line forever, but this is a newer launch from them. I think this has been in their line for a couple of years now. This is the Suntruck Radiant Bronzer. I have color light rosy. They have rosy tones and they have warm tones, and I have the radiant one. There is a matte one and there is a radiant one. I prefer the radiant one, so I picked up the radiant one. I feel like the matte ones are a little bit too matte for my skin and they might look a little bit patchy. These powders are super smooth. I don't know what people are talking about. There were mixed reviews online before I picked these up. People were saying that these are patchy, they don't look good on the skin. Maybe it is the radiant kind, or maybe it is the lighter colors that are better, but I am not sensing any of those. I actually like these powders. They are very beautiful on the skin, and I have to say, this color looks a lot like the Farah Hamidi bronzer in Bois, which I recently reviewed. Let me show you the comparison. In my comparison videos, for some reason, I never thought about this, but look how similar these two are. Obviously, the Farah Hamidi one is a little bit more purple and a little bit more lighter in my opinion, but the consistency and the look is very similar. So if you were interested in that one and you wanted to pick it up, but it was a bit too expensive for you, maybe consider this one. This is the Farah Hamidi one in Bois. This is the MAC one in light rosy, and you can see anything next to Bois from Farah Hamidi is gonna look warmer, but this is actually a rosy shade and they look very similar. It might not show up in the camera, but they actually look a lot similar. The Farah Hamidi one has more of a cooler purple tone to it, but the light rosy one has more of a rosy tone to it. By the way, that brush that I applied the powder with was BK Beauty 102. For my bronzer, I'm gonna use this MAC Cosmetics 143S brush that came with these bronzers. It makes it easier to apply to my forehead, but again, I prefer my BK Beauty brushes. I'm applying a little bit more so that you can see how they blend and how they look on my skin tone. So you saw how much I applied at first, but do you see how easily it blended out? I was pretty scared of picking these up because based on the reviews I saw online, people were complaining about them being a bit too patchy. I think if I picked up a matte version, I would feel the same. But with the radiant version, I am very happy with the blend. You can see some shimmer in here when you look closely, but they don't show up on your skin. They look more radiant than looking glittery. Did you see how beautifully it blended out? So no worries if you pick up too much, don't get scared. I saw online that they are coming out with liquid highlighters and I'm super interested to see those. Let me show you the strobe cream on top of everything. On this side that I use the creams. You can use it with your finger or you can use it with a sponge and you can use it as your highlighter on top of everything and it will look gorgeous. It actually brings life back to your skin after you apply powder. One of the products that you can use as your bronzer is their Extra Dimension Skin Finish. This is the color Superb. If you are a fan of super glowy makeup, maybe you can use this as your bronzer too. This looks not too dark on my hand, but when I apply it to my face, and I blend it in, it actually looks like a good bronzer color. It reminds me of the Haus Labs, or the Haus Labs one reminds me of this one. This one that I showed you in my last video. Look how similar these are. What did I do with it? Here, look. I'm telling you, anything that any brand does, MAC did it first. This is Haus Lab highlighter in the color Bronzite. This is the MAC Extra Dimension in the color Superb. You can see they have similar finishes, just different tones. MAC doesn't have such a cool tone color. I think the purpose of these were more like a highlighter, but they didn't name them highlighters, they named them skin finishes. I'm gonna apply a little bit more because I want you guys to see the undertone. But even though this is super glowy, it doesn't look unnatural on my face. I applied it on top of that cream bronzer side because I didn't want them to get mixed with the light rosy color. I have light rosy on this side and I have Superb on this side. Both are beautiful. Superb is a little bit more glowy, a little bit more of a different skin tone, like more cool toned leaning, but light rosy is a little bit more warmer. I'm gonna actually apply one of the blushes to this side of my face that are more like bronzers, which I talked about before. These are the two that are more like bronzers or contours for me. These are called powder blushes and they are matte blushes. This is Harmony, this is Blunt. As you can see, this is warmer, a bit darker. This is like more of a cooler tone color, a bit lighter. These are blushes, but they work really well as bronzers. And if you remember, the Glow Play blush that I mentioned you can also use as a bronzer is the color True Harmony. You see this is inspired by this color. I have to say though, my favorite line of blushes from them, the powder blushes, is actually their sheer tone blushes. They apply so smoothly. Not that these don't apply smoothly, these also apply very smoothly, but those are super duper soft when you're touching them. They give you a better feeling when you are touching them or when you are applying them. You see here I have Harmony and Blunt. Blunt does look a lot warmer, a lot more brown in the pan, but when you apply it, it actually looks a lot more like a burnt color, more like a chestnut color, which is why it is a blush. I think this is gonna look really good on more like medium, leaning dark skin tones. So if you are not a fan of their bronzers, these are also good colors to pick up as bronzer. Let me swatch the light rosy color next to Harmony so that you can see the difference. This is light rosy, this is color Harmony, and Blunt. You can see Harmony could be a bronzer color when you compare it to light rosy. After I looked at these MAC blushes again in my collection, after I tried the Farah Hamidi one, I realized why I like that one so much, because their tone is actually what I like in MAC Cosmetics. I'm gonna apply color Harmony to the hollows of my cheek as more like a contour shade. And also to my jawline. You can see it better when I turn my face this way. You see that contour it gave me? A beautiful subtle color. As a blush too, I really like it as a blush as well. I'm gonna apply Blunt with BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A507. This is a lot darker, so I have to be very careful with it, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna use a bit more than I usually do. And even though these powders look a little bit patchy upon first application or swatch on your hands, they actually blend out really well, considering that that this is a very dark color for me, and I have a lot of makeup underneath. They look really good after you blend them out. Do you see how beautiful this color is? You can use it as a bronzer, as a blush. It looks like you're sunburned. As I'm sure you can tell by the change in outfit, this is actually the next day. I forgot to hit record, and then when I realized it was too late, so I had to go back, record some of it, and it wasn't good, so I decided to record the rest of the video today again. Hopefully this time it's gonna be good. I wasn't happy with the results of the second half of the video. The reason I'm here before applying my concealer is that I just wanted to show you guys how beautiful this color Bright Forecast in their Prep and Prime concealer looks all over my face. I have no foundation on. I only used the MAC Strobe Cream in Peach Light, sprayed my face with Fix Plus, then I applied the Bright Forecast color all over my face in the areas that I had the most problem. So I decided to spot conceal with Bright Forecast. I'm not gonna use a foundation because this is enough coverage for me right now. Now I'm gonna use the Light Boost shade as my concealer to brighten up my face so that you guys can see how it looks like. If I want more coverage, as I talked about, I usually let this sit for a little bit on my face. That way it dries down a little bit and it gives me more coverage. I'm going over it quickly. I don't want it to dry down too much. This concealer or color corrector or whatever you call it is so lightweight on the skin. It doesn't even look like you have foundation or a concealer on, but it looks really good and it covers a lot of imperfections. It is not cakey because it is very lightweight. I powdered again with MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in medium dark. I believe I successfully used Blunt and Harmony from their powder blush collection, the matte ones. I also really like their sheer tone line of the blushes. These are a bit softer to the touch and a bit easier to work with for beginners. As you saw, color Blunt from their MAC collection was a bit hard to blend out at first, but these are very smooth, very blendable, very easy to work with. I love those two shades from the matte line, but I prefer the quality of the sheer tone ones, but they don't have those colors in these. I have two of the most famous colors, Blush Baby and Gingerly. Gingerly is the one that the Ginger Lock from the Glow Play blush is inspired by. This is Ginger Lock, this is Gingerly. You can see they are very close in color. The other line of blushes that they have, these are mineralized blushes. These are baked blushes. I believe I have 3 colors from them. This is Warm Soul, which was very famous back then, but I do believe that they have changed the color. And this is Naturally Flawless. It is more of a peachy tone. And I also have Humor Me, which is one of my favorites as well. This is gorgeous on my skin tone and it looks great as a bronzer, like the one in the matte line, Harmony color. These two look great as blush and bronzer. This is a bit more warm toned, this is a bit more muted, and the Mineralize line is also very smooth to the touch. And I feel like the texture for Warm Soul is a lot different than the other ones. This is Humor Me, this is Naturally Flawless, and Warm Soul. Warm Soul is still a very beautiful color. It has a little bit of sheen to it. I don't know if you can see in the camera. Yeah, you can see. But still my favorite is the color Humor Me. So I'm gonna apply that one to the side of my face. I'm using one of my favorite brushes, Van Gogh F1 brush. I can apply it to my forehead so that we can apply more blushes to the cheeks. This has a very natural bronzy undertone to it. Again, I'm applying a little bit more because I want the color to show up on camera. Very easy to blend, super beautiful on the skin. I think this one also has a little bit of sheen to it. I don't see any glitter when I look up close, but it doesn't look totally matte like the matte ones. So that is the color Humor Me, which looks like a blush and bronzer on me. I really like this one as a blush as well. Warm Soul looks a little bit too glittery on my cheeks and it makes my pores a little bit more obvious. But Naturally Flawless is the same as the Humor Me color for me. They both have a very slight sheen to them. I feel like Warm Soul is a little bit more glowy compared to these two. And since it is a bit lighter for my skin tone, it doesn't look too good on me. I'm gonna apply Naturally Flawless to this side of my face. You can build this up or you can leave it as is. This is a very natural color on me, and this is how much I would apply. I wouldn't apply more, but I want you guys to see the color again. This is Naturally Flawless, and I'm gonna apply Warm Soul to this side of my face. I'll show you what I mean by making my pores obvious, and that can happen with any glowy blush. When you apply it to this area, it can make your pores more obvious. I think you can see here, when I smile, my pores look very obvious. The color is a beautiful color, a very muted, beautiful color, but those gold shimmers or glitters are not for me at all. We have Humor Me on the forehead, Naturally Flawless on this side, and Warm Soul on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and reapply my foundation or concealer to apply the other blushes, and I'll be back. Alright, reapplied the light boost shade with some powder. We are gonna try the sheer tone blushes now. This is what I'm talking about when I say they are sheer. This is Gingerly, this is Blush Baby. Super sheer colors, and they are very blendable. And this is the swatches on my fingers. These are the Mineralize blushes. These are gonna be the sheer tone blushes, and these two are the matte blushes. This is Harmony, this is Blunt. Humor Me, Naturally Flawless, and Warm Soul. And as I said, this is Gingerly, this is Blush Baby. Warm Soul looks a lot better on the hand swatches than on my face. That's why I'm saying it's probably better for lighter skin tone, because my hand is a little bit lighter than my face, which is weird. Usually it is the opposite. Let's use Gingerly on this side. These pick up a lot more because they are a lot softer, but they blend out a lot easier than the matte ones. Do you see how easy it was to blend this? MAC blushes are perfect. Alright, that is Gingerly on the side of my face, and you saw I picked up a lot of product at first, but it blended out very easily. And Blush Baby on this side. This is a beautiful color. Don't let it scare you in the pan. It looks very bright, but it is actually not that bright on the face because it is a sheer tone blush. So we have Gingerly and Blush Baby. I'm gonna apply Harmony to my forehead. I want you guys to see the full payoff of Harmony as well, because I only used it under my cheeks yesterday. Very natural. It doesn't show up as a bronzer in your face, but it gives you a little bit of warmth and color. This is gonna ruin the look, but I don't care. I want to show you the swatches. I also have their Extra Dimension blushes. These are glowy blushes. Let me show you the comparison. This is the Extra Dimension Skin Finish. This is the Extra Dimension blush. As you can see, this is smaller than this. The quality of these are very close to the Skin Finish, but my problem is that since they have more obvious glitters because of the color, I feel like they do what Humor Me does to me. My pores look a little bit more obvious with these. These are the two colors I have. This is Faux Sure, this is Hush Tone. Very close in color. Faux Sure is a little bit darker. Hush Tone is a little bit lighter, and it also has more of a warmer undertone. Faux Sure is closer to purple when you compare them together, but both are very warm colors. I'm applying Hush Tone to the side of my face. I'm gonna only apply it to my forehead because I know I don't like them on my cheeks. And I'm applying Faux Sure to this side. You can see Faux Sure has more of a purple glow to it. Alright, this is Faux Sure, this is Hush Tones, and you can see they are not that different. Hush Tone is a little bit warmer from the glitters. Faux Sure has more of a purple glitter in it. Very glowy. Consistency is very similar to the Extra Dimension Skin Finish. that I applied yesterday, but the color is not for me. Let me show it to you on my eyes. I have BK Beauty 206, and this is For Sure, which I believe was this side of my face. Do you see how beautiful this is as an eyeshadow? As you can see, they are super similar on the eyes. I'm not gonna blend them perfectly, I just want you to see the color. So on the eyes, this was For Sure, this was Hush Tone. I'm gonna go clean up my face again, and we are gonna try the eyeshadows. Now let's get into the eyes. I have almost all of their eyeshadow palettes, their newer ones, the reformulated ones. Previously, they had their single eyeshadows in those small palettes, and I feel like after they reformulated and rebranded their eyeshadows, they have actually made the quality better, and I like their eyeshadow palettes better now. I always loved their single eyeshadow. To me, their eyeshadow palettes that were in those 9 pans were a little bit too patchy, but I feel like after they reformulated them, they have gotten a lot better. I don't know if they announced anything about the reformulation of the formula. I think they were just focusing on the repackaging, but I do believe that the formula also has changed. These are called Connect in Color eyeshadow palettes. I have Unfiltered Nudes, which is going to be this one. This is a very natural, everyday look eyeshadow palette to me. Very thoughtful array of colors. They all look beautiful. A lot of one and done colors that are in here. This is a beautiful eyeshadow palette, but for me, I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes in this color story. If I'm going to go towards this color story, I usually prefer my Natasha Denona Glam palette, which is this one. Don't get me wrong, I love this eyeshadow palette, but for me, working with this eyeshadow palette is a lot more satisfying than the MAC one. I do not have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, big eyeshadow palettes. I usually keep small eyeshadow palettes. The quality of these eyeshadows are perfect. They blend easily. In my opinion, even the browns have gotten a lot smoother. Previously, they felt more like the matte blushes to the touch. If you have touched them, they are a little bit harder to pick up and swatch. Oh, this is a beautiful eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna swatch the mattes together and the glowy ones together. There is satin taupe in here as well, so I have 4 satin taupes in my collection. Oh my god, that's crazy. Look how beautiful these colors are. There are colors like this one that I don't wear much, or like this one, but every other color is so beautiful. And this is what I'm talking about. This is satin taupe. Look at this color, how beautiful this is. These 3 colors are gorgeous. I also have a warmer version of this eyeshadow palette, which is called Future Flame, which would be this one. This has a lot of purples and also a lot of bright, warm colors in it. Some of the colors in this one are gorgeous, but they don't suit me anymore, so I don't wear them that much. This color is so smooth to the touch and to the swatch. Such a beautiful dark color. I think it is called Lady Mocha. I don't remember if they had this shade before or not. I have to look in my singles. I might have it. Or at least some color that is very close to this. If you are a fan of these colors, they have really good quality. What I like about these palettes is that they also have different consistencies. They have like frosty eyeshadows, they have more shiny, shimmery eyeshadows, satin ones, they have matte ones in one eyeshadow palette. And I feel like that makes them versatile. My favorite shade in this eyeshadow palette is this one, and that is probably why I bought this eyeshadow palette, honestly. Oh, actually, this is Lady Mocha. Oh, this color is Embark. I think I have Embark in my collection. I was reading it wrong. This is Embark, and this one is Lady Mocha. These are the colors in this eyeshadow palette. I feel like the colors in this eyeshadow palette have better quality. This is a beautiful eyeshadow palette. If you wear warm tones, I would suggest this eyeshadow palette 100%. That was Future Flame. And then we are gonna get to the small ones. I have Embedded in Burgundy. Beautiful color story. This is Encrypted Kryptonite, and this one is Bronze Influence. I also really love this color, which is color Hawks. I have this color as a single form. This one is the Embedded in Burgundy eyeshadow palette. So you have Hawks in this eyeshadow palette. This is a beautiful eyeshadow palette. These are so smooth to the touch. Look at that swatch. That is this color. This color, which is also one of my favorites, very close to the color Satin Taupe. I believe it is called Loading. It is a bit glowier than Satin Taupe. This is the color Story Embedded in Burgundy. Beautiful. That last color. This is Bronze Influence. Look at that middle color. And this color, the green like black one, was super smooth as well. And this brown one, the bronzy one, these are all beautiful. This color is probably my favorite from this palette. Beautiful cool tone crease color. And lastly, we are gonna get to the Encrypted Kryptonite eyeshadow palette. If you don't like cool tones, this is not for you. This is that corner shade, which is a glowy white, basically. Such a beautiful cool tone color story. And I love that they added Satin Taupe here. From their singles, I have Satin Taupe, which I showed you the swatch. I have Embark, which I also showed you the swatch. I also have Hawks, Sable. And I also have the famous Woodwinked. This is Woodwinked. It is a bit warmer. I don't wear these colors that much anymore. This is Hawks. This is Finjan. It is funny, Finjan in Farsi means a cup that you drink tea or coffee in it. This is Finjan, this is Hawks. You see they are very similar colors, almost identical. Finjan has a little bit more brown in it. The other color I really like is a brown, muted brown, but light brown, which looks more like a gray. This color is Sandstone. This one. This next color is Brune, which is perfect for darkening outer corner of your eyes, which is this one. Then I have the famous Swiss chocolate here, which works perfectly with Hawks and Finjan both, with these two. And lastly, I have their black, which is called Carbon. Sorry, not the best swatches, but these are all the colors that I have. Last one is Carbon. This is Carbon. You can make an eyeshadow palette that you love with these single eyeshadows. You don't have to buy their eyeshadow palettes, because in eyeshadow palettes usually there are colors that we don't use much. And in these packagings, I have Satin Taupe again. I love this color, obviously. And I also have 4 of their Extra Dimension eyeshadows. I love their Extra Dimension line. Everything is so beautiful. By the way, the Satin Taupe color is from their Frost line. These are the Extra Dimension eyeshadows that I have. These two are newer colors, I believe. These two I have had ever since they launched. These are the perfect one and done colors. Honestly, I don't use Amorous Alloy and Sweet Heat that much. They are super smooth, but at the same time super glowy. This is Havana. Do you see how beautiful this color is? I have always wanted them to come up with more shades. I was like, I know that is a long shot, but I am just hoping they come up with more shades of Extra Dimension eyeshadows, and they did. And this is one of them, and I love it. This is Stolen Moment. At least I believe it's a newer one, unless I have missed it. This is a more cool toned version of Havana. This is Amorous Alloy, more like a coppery bronzy shade, but it is more wearable than a copper. And this one, which went viral for some time on TikTok, I believe, is Sweet Heat. As you can see, it looks a little bit more darker on the swatch. This is also a very beautiful one and done color. Last eyeshadow that I have from them is their Chrome Crayon eyeshadow stick in the color High Taupes. This was a limited edition one, this color, but they have a color close to this in their permanent line of these eyeshadow sticks, so you can pick that one up. But I just wanted to show you the swatch of this. This looks so glowy, so beautiful, and it is very blendable, easy to work with on your eyes. And after it dries down, it stays on. I am hoping they come up with more shades of these as well, because the shades they have in their permanent line are not the ones that I would wear. Do you see how beautiful that is? After you blend it out, it becomes a little bit more sheer. I think I have a video of using this in one of my shorts. I do have their eyeliners. I have to say I am not a fan of their eyeliners, and not because they are bad quality. This is the famous Teddy color. This is the color Teddy, and you see it had a little bit of shimmer in it, but at the same time, it doesn't show up as a shimmery color. This is a beautiful eye pencil, but I don't use eye pencils that much, and when I use them, I want them to be a little bit easier to smudge. For that reason, I don't gravitate towards this one a lot, but if you are an eyeliner wearer and you like wooden pencils, these dry down super fast and they don't smudge or they don't run. I do like the quality of their pencils. I believe they are the same quality as their lip pencils, and I love their lip pencils, which we will get to in a minute. I'm gonna apply this eyeshadow stick to my eyes. Look how dirty this looks now. This is from the eyeshadows. This wasn't dirty when I started the video. And lastly, in the eye category, we have mascaras. I have to say I am not a huge fan of MAC Cosmetic mascaras. They usually smudge on me. The only two that don't are these two. This is MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash, and this one is MAC Stack Mascara. I know this one is very popular, but for me, this is a little bit too thick. It does that thing that is thicker, closer to my lash line, so it is a little bit uncomfortable for me to wear, but it doesn't irritate my eyes or anything. This one is a mini size that I have. The bigger size has like that ball, like the silver ball on the cap. This is how it looks like. Surprisingly, my favorite mascara from MAC is this one, which is the Extended Play Giga Black Lash, which has a regular spoolie, but I love this tiny spoolie. And the quality of this mascara is a bit runnier than the MAC Stack one, which will help with lengthening my eyelashes without depositing too much color. I'm gonna apply both of these so that you can see. This is the MAC Extended Giga Black Mascara. I wouldn't say this is my favorite mascara. Still, my Tarte Cosmetics mascara, the Maniator one, is my favorite, and I always have that one in my collection. But if you want to pick up something from MAC Cosmetics and these are on sale, this is a good mascara too. It is very different than that one. That one is a little bit more volumizing for me. These both have a very stiff spoolie, so I am comfortable with both of them. I'm gonna apply the MAC Stack one to the other side, and you can see it is already clumping up on the spoolie. I have to be very careful with this one. Alright, this was the eye look. One last category that we have is lipsticks and lip liners. I'm not gonna swatch anything in this category because I have videos of all of my MAC lipsticks from their Luster Glass collection, their matte collection, their Powder Kiss ones, the liquid version of their Powder Kiss lipsticks. So if you want to watch those, there is a short video of those. I try to remember to link everything from MAC Cosmetics in this video. I just want to let you know that all of their shades and all of their lines are top-notch quality. I love their Powder Kiss line. I really like them in the bullet format. For example, this is the color Turn to Lift. But after they came out with the liquid version, I'm obsessed with these. I am not a liquid lipstick wearer at all. I don't think you have ever seen me apply liquid lipsticks other than these. These are in liquid lipstick quality. They are very smooth, very powdery feeling on the lips, and they don't dry down your lips. As I mentioned, I also really like their lip liners. I have the color Greige and Whirl here. There are a lot of viral colors from MAC Cosmetics lip liners. These two are the ones that I like the most. I wish Greige was a little bit lighter. I think they have sandstone or something like that, or a stone in their lip liners as well, but that one wasn't a good color for me. This was a better color for me, but I wish it was a little bit lighter. I usually use this one with darker reds or darker colors to line my lips to avoid any bleeding from the lipstick, but Whirl is my perfect lip liner color. One thing that I just tried from the brand not long ago is their MAC lip gloss. These are their lip glosses that they repackaged. I believe they had these before and everyone liked these. But in my opinion, there wasn't anything crazy about any lip gloss. I wasn't that much of a lip gloss wearer. I usually like my lip glosses in this format. But last time I saw this color, this is a very me color. I wanted to pick up and see how it looks like on me and maybe see the texture. I'm telling you, this is the non-stickiest gloss I have ever used. And that is why I don't use lip glosses. They are very sticky. And look at this color. This is the color Light Moth. Such a beautiful color. It has some blue glitters in it, but you don't see them on your lips. This is the lip product that I just tried from MAC Cosmetics. Every other lip products I have used before. I didn't expect to love their lip glosses this much, but I really like them. I might pick up another shade that is more wearable for everyday look. Alright then, this is the end of the video. I am hoping this video is not super long, but if it is, I apologize. I wanted to give you a very thorough review of the MAC Cosmetics brand because I feel like not many people are talking about them recently. I know people talk about their new launches and everything, but in my opinion, their old formulas are top notch. Because there are a lot of interesting makeup at Sephora and Ulta these days, we have forgotten about MAC Cosmetics, but they are a very good quality brand. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. That will help my channel a lot. Also, what helps my channel is you watching my videos to the end, especially my long format videos. I do appreciate all of your kindness in the comment section. Please ask if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you in my next video. Bye!